Hey, Business Building Warrior, quick episode for you today, but I am so excited to talk to especially the newest members of our community today about something that I'm observing from a 10,000-foot view of the online selling opportunities represented by Amazon. Now, if you don't know, if you're new around here, I've been in e-commerce for well over 20 years. We've coached nearly 10,000 people. The only income my family and I have had has been e-commerce, creative income strategies based on the internet from home with a flexible lifestyle. We love helping others achieve that, and we've helped thousands of people do exactly that over the years. Free Facebook group is evidence of that. This podcast, just scroll back in time, you can hear hundreds of interviews with our successful students. But the point I'm making today, and something along these lines will be the title of why right now, even better than 6 months ago, better than 2 years ago, better than 5 years ago, right now could be the best time ever to get started with the strategies we teach. I'm going to give you three really big reasons why. I may think of more as we go with this episode, but these three reasons jumped out at me today as I was preparing for this episode. And I think it needs to be said often because Amazon selling has gotten a bit of a bad rap over the past, I've been hearing it actually for 20 years. I remember when eBay was getting a bad rap the first time they raised their fees over 20 years ago. The selling community lost their collective minds. And every change, every new rule since then, there's been hundreds of them with Amazon, with eBay, with all the major opportunities. Sellers tend to complain. They lose their minds. They go nuts. They say, well, it's over now. But then you look in the next quarter, e-commerce continues to explode. Amazon continues to expand. The number of shoppers, how much money they're spending, how the size of the catalog continues to explode. The opportunity is getting only bigger, which I should probably point out. That's not just me observing that. The facts and the data back me up. You do realize e-commerce is still far less than 20% of all retail economic activity in the US. I'll repeat that. Amazon and all the other websites are less than 20% of retail in the US. 80% plus is still people getting in their cars going to stores. Not for long, though. This is US government data. You can look it up, use Google, use any AI. They'll tell you that e-commerce is exploding. It's the fastest growing economic sector in the US, as a matter of fact. And Amazon is leading the charge. The opportunity is getting bigger. Okay, so now that we've set that aside, why would I say right now is a better time than, say, 6 months ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago to get started as an Amazon reseller? Here's why. Number one, Amazon has clarified so much of their policies, and they're enforcing policies more consistently than they ever have. That's the first one. I'm not going to dive real deep into it. This is a short episode, but that's the facts. If you go back in time, there's been so many gray areas, so many people saying, well, I've been cutting this corner for 2 years and Amazon hasn't done anything. So other people start cutting the same corner, and pretty soon you got thousands of sellers cutting these corners, and Amazon only randomly slaps some people sometimes. And so there's mass confusion because there was no seeming connection between policy and enforcement. Well, those two worlds have merged and overlap more perfectly than they ever have from my vantage point. The policy and the enforcement are merging quickly and overlapping almost perfectly to the point where you can know the rules, stay within the rules, and not worry if you're going to lose your account or not if you're following the rules. It's a beautiful time to be a seller for that reason. So that's the first one. Now's a good time to start. And why would that make 2 years ago a bad time? Well, because you could have violated rules that were unclear without knowing it and still be held responsible for it today. As a new seller, you don't have to worry about that, especially if you have good education and a good mentor. That's what we do here. Then you're not going to make those mistakes. They're not going to be part of your history. You're only going to shop from authorized retailers, wholesalers, and distributors, for example. You're not going to make the mistake of buying a pallet of inventory from Billy Bob's Pallet Castle, right? His discount bargain bin. Don't sell that stuff on Amazon. We're not going to let you if you're a student of ours. We're going to tell you why you shouldn't. That wasn't always so clear. Jump back 4 or 5 years ago, plenty of people were making a lot of money doing it, and plenty of people were saying, yeah, Amazon lets us do it. They even accepted our invoice. They don't accept those invoices anymore. So it's very clear now. The policy, the enforcement has become very clear. So you're not going to make those mistakes. That's why it's an advantage to start now versus having started a long time ago. What's another advantage? The tools and the strategies are maturing rapidly. You're not stuck in the old way of thinking from 4 or 5 years ago and still trying to make that work. You're not scanning barcodes and looking for discounts and sales and hoping to build a business that way. A lot of people did that business for a long time and got frustrated and said, oh, it's not what it used to be. Of course not. Things are always changing. But here's something that is the wide open opportunity that we're so excited about: the underserved shelf space in Amazon's 200 plus warehouse network. Unstocked and underserved shelf space, it's abundant. And if you start off understanding that, instead of having to slowly be drug into understanding that, you're going to have such a huge advantage. And the tools we have now, the tools and the strategies that we have now that are unlike anything we've ever had. I'm talking about specifically the system, or 3pmercury.com, for example, that completely changes the workflow of your business. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting. It's almost like putting AI on your team for building an Amazon reselling business. Phenomenal insights. You can have a catalog of 1,000 or 2,500 or more ASINs that you're monitoring, and the software tells you which ones you should be paying the most attention to when it's time to buy your inventory, which ones have the greatest potential for profit, which ones are begging for more inventory that you can price high. It's a great time to be a reseller and have those tools at your disposal. And the blue ocean is just exploding in size. The blue ocean of opportunity of Amazon is rapidly expanding. So there's many of us, hundreds of us, who are doing these things. There could be thousands and thousands of us more doing these exact same things, and we will not tap into the rapidly expanding blue ocean of e-commerce, specifically Amazon selling, specifically reselling, which is filling the underserved, unstocked shelf space at Amazon's 200 plus warehouse network. It's a huge opportunity. So right now is a great time to get in, to get a coach, to learn the basics, and to just ramp up with all the momentum behind you. The future is very bright. And that's not me saying it. US government data says e-commerce is the fastest growing economic sector in the US, and half of that action is Amazon. That's not me. That's just the facts. Amazon did several $billion in a couple days recently. That's incredible. That's just incredible. Get in on the opportunity. We'd love to show you how. It's exploding. And that's just one strategy of the dozens that we teach around here. All right. So what's the third and final strategy, reason why right now is the best time to hop in as a new Amazon seller, or to get serious if you've been delaying this whole thing for a while? Why is it? Well, we understand the opportunity now better than we ever have, and our training reflects that. We are so far ahead of anyone else in the industry on some specific strategies for identifying underserved shelf space in Amazon's massive warehouse network. What's that mean? Right now, as we're sitting here, as I'm recording this summer of 2025, there are millions of products that we show you how to go find. Millions of products that sell very consistently on Amazon. They're good selling products. Multiple customers per month buying these products. And we demonstrate to you exactly how to find millions of them that are unstocked completely or understocked in Amazon's massive warehouse network. That's huge opportunities to go in, meet demand at a higher price than the historic buy box. We're teaching our students more and more to ignore the buy box completely. What's that mean? The buy box is assumed by a lot of sellers to be the price point that you have to use to sell the product. Like, if you can't win the buy box, you can't win the sale. You better be price competitive with the buy box or you're not going to win any sales. We have overwhelming abundant evidence that's simply not the case for millions of ASINs. You don't have to be a few dollars within buy box. You can be 30%, 50%. You can be twice as high as buy box in many cases and winning sales. Why? Because, and this statement is vital for you to understand, today on Amazon, millions of shoppers are going to pay way less than they were willing to for items that will arrive way later than they were hoping for. Did you follow that? Shoppers don't have fast delivery options on Amazon for millions of items. And if someone were to just make that item available at a higher price as a fast delivery option, they would jump on it. The overwhelming evidence that we have of this is undeniable, and we understand it now better than we ever have. And to my knowledge, we're the only ones teaching strategically exactly how to tap into that opportunity. And it's not just for new sellers, it's for all of us. And that's just one of dozens of strategies for succeeding on Amazon, even as a reseller. But we love the above buy box strategies that we're teaching right now. So that's the third reason. If I had to add a fourth reason, I would say here we are as the only e-commerce coaching company in the world that has lasted over 2 decades. I'm unaware of any of our competitors in the e-commerce education space, specifically reselling and Amazon, eBay, that sort of thing, who've been around more than, say, 7 or 8 years. Almost no one. We've been around almost 3 times longer than any of our competitors. Nearly 10,000 students coached with a great reputation, mind you, voted the #1 podcast in the industry, voted the top event, voted the top community. We've got a lot of things going for us around here. We've got a lot of momentum. And the thing that we're teaching has never had a brighter future. The opportunity that we're teaching right now looks so great. We can't wait to show you. So if you're new or you've been delaying, now's a great time. You have a lot of advantages right now. Almost like you were smart to have waited because the stars are aligning on this opportunity and the future of it right now. And we'd love to talk to you about it. Hey, you can call our office anytime if you want to have a free conversation. Get over to silentjim.com/free11. That's the website, silentjim.com/free11. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. If you're ready to get started right now, get over to provenamazoncourse.com. Ridiculously low price per month for our entire catalog of education. We will hold you by the hand every step of the way, assuming you know nothing, and walk you into this business model that is exploding with opportunity. Can't wait to show it to you. Hey, God bless you, business building warrior. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We'll have another great episode for you very soon.